Everybody, please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would ask that everybody remain standing when we're done. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I would just like to ask for a moment of silence in remembrance of Kevin McConville, our sheriff, who has recently passed away. A finer human being I never knew. He was an outstanding individual, an outstanding leader, and he's going to be sorely missed in Putnam County. So, thank you. Can I get a roll call?
Here.
Here. Here. Here. Here. Somebody like to audit the bills?
Sure. Let's make a motion to approve abstract number 15 dated August 15th, 2025 in the amount of $361,143.63. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'd also like to approve abstract number 15A dated August 8th, 2025 in the amount of $5,526.91. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'll just move on to the budget transfers. Did you save all of these for me?
Yeah. I think Sean had two.
Am I paying back?
Two or three.
Okay. So we have 2025 budget transfer request number 18. The effective date on this transfer is August 13th, 2025. This budget transfer is necessary to reallocate funds for the increased cost to the Putnam Lake Park Utilities account for added equipment and Comcast service. So we'll be decreasing the park contractual $2,600, and we will be increasing the park contractual utilities by $2,600. I'd like to make a motion to approve budget transfer request number 18. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have budget adjustment request number 19. This adjustment is necessary to reallocate funds for the water admin equipment and capital outlay account due to emergency repairs to the well number 1. We will be increasing the appropriated fund balance by $7,200 and also increasing the water admin equipment and capital outlay by $7,200. I'll make a motion to approve budget adjustment request number 19. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I think lastly we have budget adjustment number 20. The effective date of this is August 27, 2025. This budget transfer is necessary to reallocate funds for the Putnam Lake Equipment and Capital Outlay account for additional approved projects. We will be decreasing the expense account by $7,578, and we will increase the park equipment and capital outlay by $7,578. I'll make a motion to approve budget transfer request number 20. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, first up on my agenda is an offer of a land donation. We've received a letter from Marcia Solomon, who is looking to donate a lot on the corner of Interlaken and Norfolk Road. I did take a look at the lot. It is a relatively flat lot. It is at the bottom of two hills, one being Norfolk, not much of a hill, but a hill nonetheless. Potentially it could be used for managing stormwater coming down through there, or we could use it to provide additional parking for Memorial Field in Putnam Lake.
Sorry.
And my recommendation is we accept the donation. Discussion? Comments? Questions?
I think that the additional parking would be very helpful when we have a lot of events up there that, we have limited space for the parking, so I think it would be helpful as well.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the donation of land to the town of Patterson, authorize the town attorney to take whatever action necessary to
file the deeds.
And obtain a title report
And-
just to make sure.
Yes, and obtain the title report, and I would like to authorize an amount of $500 to pay any taxes that are going to be due on the property, because we are doing this mid-cycle, so we are going to be paying the town and county taxes as well as the school taxes, which should come in at under $500 in total.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, what could I do with it? All right, so it's budget time. In 1 month, the board will be getting the tentative budget, and I just wanted to run through the budget calendar that we had approved to make sure everybody, can make those dates. See if anybody has any comments or questions, what they would like to do as far as a review of the tentative budget and/or department heads. I'm assuming we will be meeting with the Patterson Fire Department as we do every year at some point. So,
They look good to me.
dates are all good?
Mhm. And I know that we're always a little flexible on the time, so is that still okay? We usually typically, will we come around 5? Is that okay?
Yeah.
I think they were
I
set up.
thought they were set for 4. For the
Oh, okay.
attorney,
4 o'clock.
I thought it's, 4:30 is what's
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4:30-ish. That sounds.
But yes,
good.
we are flexible.
Okay. As long as it's after 4, I'm good.
Yeah, okay. Sounds wonderful.
Is there anything else you're thinking about before you get the budget? Any department heads you might want to talk to, or you want to see the budget first?
I think we need to see the budget
Yeah.
first, see what the requests are. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we will do that.
Cool.
All right. Mary, you're up.
Yes, I see we have a lot of requests here from Mr. Machibaro.
Started with
Um,
one.
So, Matt is announcing his upcoming program and event pricing. The prices will be the following prices will be in effect for the upcoming program and events. So, I'll just pull a few out just to put them out there. He has the Holiday Bazaar and Craft Fair, $40 a space. That's always something great. You want to come and sell some items that you either make or purchase some for Christmas. That's a great fair. He has sports soccer coming at $80 per child. He has the flag football at $100 per child. Pickleball is going $70 per month on Tuesday nights. Basketball clinic, $200 per participant. The Nerf night is back at $14 per participant, and pizza night is still happening for $16 for a single slice admission. $19 if you like to have 2 slices. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the upcoming program and event pricing. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We're still hiring some lifeguards. Matt recommends hiring a junior lifeguard candidate as we try to keep the beaches open at the end of the season. The new lifeguards are Jamie Greco and Melanie Porcel. Each guard's hourly rate will be $16 per hour, and they will both start Friday, August 22nd. So I'd like to make a motion to approve both Jamie Greco and Melanie Porcel as the new junior lifeguards. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So we have a request here for a new hire for the pre-K program. Mr. Chabarro has an unanticipated resignation for the class that is beginning on September 3rd, and he'd like to fill the vacancy before the school starts. He's recommended that we hire Mary Catherine Thompson, at the rate of $16.50 per hour. So Mary will be the assistant to Denise for the upcoming pre-K program. I'd like to make a motion to approve Mary Thompson at the rate of $16.50 per hour. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And then lastly, I see the fire department is here. We'll move on to their request. Does everyone have the the memo. Does anyone have any questions?
Oh,
Do you guys want to say anything? Do you want to come up and talk about it?
Prepare something if you want me
Of course.
to read it.
Sure.
Is it about 5 minutes long? Is that too long?
No, that's fine.
No.
Not a second longer.
Okay.
5 minutes for a $2 million request seems like well within your rights.
Good evening. My name is Albert Rossi. I'm the First Assistant Chief with the Patterson Fire Department and the Chairman of the Ladder Truck Replacement Committee. I would like to first give some background on this project. We had sent over last week our request for the usage of restricted funds from our Vehicle Replacement Fund for the replacement project on our 1989 tower ladder. In short, the request is for $488,421.91 for the 25% prepayment of the vehicle, $1,437,181.47 to be financed through Tompkins National Bank for the remaining 75%, and $161,571.28 for change orders, price increases, equipment costs, travel costs, and annual installation of any additional equipment. In September of 2022, a 5-member committee was selected by Randall Mulkins, the president at the time, for the replacement of our 1989 100-foot ladder truck. The committee consisted of operators of the current ladder truck, multiple career firefighters, a CDL truck driver, machine equipment operators, and a mechanical engineer, all totaling 106 plus years of fire service experience. In addition, Vice President Aiken, current president, was included in all committee communications and invited to all meetings per our bylaws and to act as a liaison between the committee and the board of directors. The committee met numerous times, compiling the needs and limitations of our response area, including our apparatus bay size, bridge heights, weight restrictions, turning restrictions. In addition, we looked at building heights, building occupancy, and accessibility within the town. We gathered preliminary information on 8 manufacturers and eventually requested and received quotes from 5 manufacturers: Spartan, Seagrave, Suffin, Rosenbauer, and Pierce, with prices ranging from $1.6 to $2.6 million for the vehicle, not including any other expenses. The committee visited with multiple fire departments in the area, including Pauling, Brewster, White Plains, Mount Vernon, Thornwood, and Harrison, where we were able to operate, drive, and climb the ladders, also discuss with other apparatus committee members and other apparatus operators. We went to trade shows, consulted with multiple mechanics and our ladder testing company. The committee narrowed down to Pierce, Spartan, and Suffin, and ultimately decided on Suffin in October of 2023 for its all-around build quality, reputation, price, and vehicle specs such as short overall length and tight turning radius, to name a few. The committee worked in parallel with the department board of directors, looking for financing options for the costly project, requesting information for 5, 7, and 10-year loans, and received rates from Tompkins National Savings Bank, Leasing 2U Inc., and Putnam County Savings Bank, with interest rates ranging from 5.33 to 7.25%. On November 6, 2023, President Mulkins emailed Town Supervisor Williams notifying him of our plan to purchase the ladder truck in the near future. Town Supervisor Williams responded the same day, stating that he would like to discuss financing options and look into bonds. On November 6, 2023, the Apparatus Committee presented and the department membership approved a motion for the ladder truck replacement project to pay the 25% of the cost of the ladder truck up front, which saved the department an estimated $23,000, and the remaining 75% minus the discount price to be paid by a financing or loan option decided by the department board of directors. Additionally, money was allocated for change orders, equipment, etc., which was listed in the what we sent over. On November 28, 2023, President Mulkins signed the purchase agreement with Suffin Corporation. On December 18, 2023, Town Supervisor Williams provided bond rates for the 7 and 10-year terms. In December of 2023, the Department Board of Directors transferred the $488,421.91 to Suffin Corporation for the 25% down payment of the vehicle. On January 2nd, 2024, President Mulkins notified Town Supervisor Williams by email that the Patterson Fire Department Board of Directors voted to use the financing options provided by Tompkins, along with questions about a separate project. Supervisor Williams responded to the email but did not comment on the financing of the vehicle. On May 15th, 2025, after learning that we did not have an express permission to use the vehicle replacement funds, Vice President Barretto, Administrative Assistant Piazza, notified Richard Williams in a meeting about the need for financial approval per our contract for the ladder truck replacement project. So,
So
do
here
you
we
have any
are.
questions?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the term of the loan? 5-year, 10-year,
7-year.
7-year?
7-year.
Do you know what the,
At 5.33%.
do you know what the annual payments are gonna be?
I do not have that in front of me.
All right, so I would guess that the annual payments are gonna be somewhere around $140,000, $150,000 a year. Any idea how the fire department's gonna pay for that?
With the money from our vehicle replacement fund.
It's gonna be way more than that. They're borrowing 1.4.
Well, just did it off the top of my head. What do you think it's gonna be?
Well, 1.437.
Go to an amortization
Let's just say that. Let's just say plus 5.3%. Even if you just take it like that, it's over 200,000 a year in payments. It's going to be probably 215 to 230 a year in payments, just based on the 1.4.
So, all right, so I was a little off.
Let's see. Let's do this real quick.
So, how much do you have in your vehicle replacement fund?
We have approximately $1 million in the vehicle replacement fund, and we have an additional approximate $1 million in our CD account for the vehicle replacement. So we have approximately $2 million.
What was the second account?
We have a CD account that we renew roughly annually, that the board of directors
Okay, but
renews.
is the CDA a restricted account?
Yeah, we have, but it's renewed roughly once a year. So we would have plenty of time to not renew the money and use it for any project if need be.
Okay. So the vehicle replacement fund is there to cover, to help offset the cost with all the vehicles.
Mhm.
And essentially in this one purchase, you're going to deplete that account to zero.
Sean.
Yeah.
No, not zero. So we had looked at over the next between about 2022 when we had started this out until about about 2033, looking at the price what we're currently paying for the replacement of our engine 2224, this project, and then any other vehicles that we anticipated to purchase over the next few years. And we actually made a motion on the floor to restrict the number of vehicles that we would allow the department to purchase over the next 10 years, specifically to keep to have basically a financial track of it, that we would not exceed and go over, overextend ourselves essentially in that budget.
Are you locked into this 7-year loan? Was there any offering of maybe a 10-year?
Yes, we did look into a 10-year. The board of directors of the department decided that it was more financially advantageous to go with the 7-year loan. Yeah,
Yeah.
We had better interest rates. With
Oh,
the
okay, so it
5-year
would have
with-
raised the rate because it was
Yes.
between 5.33 and 7 points, so it might have pushed it to the 7.
Yeah, without looking through everything, I believe it was a higher. rate.
Probably,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Almost 400 in interest.
Yeah, 400 and,
300.
no,
Well, I'll
287.
have to say that I know that
In interest.
in 1990, I remember when that brand-new ladder truck came here. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, a little bit before my time. but-
So I think we're gonna have a further discussion about this when we sit down and talk with you about the budget. But I wanna say this, you're absolutely right. Over the past few years, I've known that the department wants to buy a ladder truck, and I've had some conversations very tangential to everything that's been going on about, how we could do this and what the financing would be, but nobody ever came back to me with a concrete, this is what we wanna do, this is how we wanna do it. I was a little surprised when I found out that you had already purchased the truck. A number of years ago, we were concerned about how, the two fire departments are budgeting and what the impact was going to be with the taxpayers. And we wanted to be more of a partner in making those decisions, because we don't want you to come back to us now and say, well, geez, we've got to raise our budget by $250,000 a year, to pay for a ladder truck, right? And that's a big hit on the taxpayers. I've done everything I can in my tenure here to keep the taxes as low as I can, because some people just can't afford to pay more. And that's why we adopted this rule that, before you went and spent the money, before you made that commitment, that you needed to get approval from the town board. That didn't happen. That's somewhat concerning to me. I know you need the ladder. I'm not going to sit here and say, don't go buy the ladder. But, I mean, for me, I would have liked to have had a better conversation about, how we can finance it. Like I said, you're getting a rate of 5 3/4. At the time, I think I talked to Randall, we were getting rates of 2.5, 3. So.
I have
5 1/3.
from the scale you had sent over, it was somewhere in the 5s, I believe. At least that was
To bond?
Yeah. Randall had sent.
I don't know where the confusion is, because I tell you, even right now with the bonding rates having gone up,
Yeah.
we're still doing under 5.
Yeah, it showed 5.6 was what Randall had sent to me from. Yeah.
All right, I'm not sure why it was 5.6, but again, right now we're getting rates of 4.5%, which is still better.
Question.
Yep.
The length of, and I apologize if you said this and I didn't hear it, the length of the existing ladder truck compared to the one that you'd like to purchase, what's the difference?
It is 1 foot longer than the current ladder truck.
Okay, because I remember when we were invited to come over to the firehouse, they made a point of saying that, look, we only have like 2 feet behind this existing ladder truck. We need to make the firehouse bigger if we get another ladder truck.
Yeah. It
And
will.
it was like literally, I know
Yeah.
there was barely enough room to walk behind the existing ladder.
Yeah, so it will fit in the existing building. We have a gear rack behind it right now that we will need to take out. It will fit in the building. It is going to be a little bit tight, but that dimension is also to the back of the bucket, which you can just barely also walk underneath. So underneath that you have about 2 or 3 foot walk area, also in addition to the foot or 2 that would be behind the bucket. So there is room. There is room to walk, yes,
Okay.
but it's not.
I just want to make sure that the
Yeah.
purchase of this vehicle doesn't then trigger, we absolutely have to have a larger firehouse because you knew this when we ordered the truck, it wasn't going to fit. And so I
Yeah.
just want to make, because the past conversation was pretty clear. It was like, we're going to look to get, this was years ago. This was probably 5 to 8 years ago.
Yeah, I was
But it was like, hey, this truck is wearing out. When we go buy another one, we're going to need a bigger firehouse. And so, I don't know where that conversation is currently within your firehouse, but
That played
Wanted to
a
mention.
large role in the decision of purchasing this ladder. This is one of the shorter ones on the market. It's not the shortest, but for a 100-foot aerial, it is one of the shortest. We spec'd it out to basically be as short as possible, and the shortest bumper, any options that we could to shorten it up. Essentially, we got with this ladder. But yeah.
So what is the plan with the old truck?
The company that we purchased this one from offered to buy it off of us. That's our plan at the moment. We're not locked into sell it. We're selling it to them, but
Do you know what they offered you for? it, or-
Bless you.
Bless you.
No, we have not had any discussion on that yet.
Okay.
Do you think it would be an amount that would be substantial and help? No?
No.
No? No. There's no hope in Mudville tonight, is there?
Unfortunately not. I mean, the rigs are just not going with what they are for when they're new. When we discovered the last engine, it was peanuts compared to what the rig was. And we sat on the rig for over a year trying to get more money for it, and which, holding out, we did get a little more, but it still wasn't still wasn't what, what we need.
Yeah, that was for 1994 Soften engine. He's talking about.
So, Rich, do you think that if we could get a bond for it, it would be more than 7 years? And that would help?
And listen, that may have been the problem is Randall wanted me to get a bond for 7 years. Typically, our better rates are going to be, if we're going to go 10, 15, or 20.
Could be.
And that would have, spread the cost out, been a little bit better.
Mm.
The problem we have right now is this is done.
Yeah,
They've
so
already
it's-
put the down payment down. They've already purchased the truck. They've already secured the financing. There's nothing, it's not like we can start talking about financing options. But, going forward, this isn't going to be the last truck you're going to buy. We've got to have a better conversation. There's got to be a way. And, I keep telling everybody there's this grant program out there. The town could be eligible for, purchase of vehicles for up to $350,000. That the state will give us to purchase vehicles. We got to tap into that at some point.
We have looked into grants. Unfortunately, we were not eligible for a certain period of time when we were looking at the ladder truck, so we were not able to secure a grant. And also, we looked into multiple grants. Also, in our region, we are somewhat well off compared to the rest of the country, so we're not eligible for certain other grants we looked into.
No, but the town is eligible. I mean, it's just money sitting out there that we can tap into. So, listen, as far as I'm concerned, this is a done deal. We have nothing left to do but, to ratify the decision that the fire department made, in purchasing the truck. But, going forward, can't do it this way, and we gotta find a way to, find somebody else's money to pay for some of these things. And I think there are avenues we can tap into.
Tell them to make a motion.
Sure.
So I'm going to make a motion for the approval of the purchase of the Sutton Custom SPH 100-foot area ladder truck in the amount of $1,925,603.38. Additionally, the 25% paid in full by the Patterson Fire Department from the Vehicle Replacement Fund of $488,421.91. And along with the remaining balance of $1,437,181.47 to be financed through Tompkins Community Bank by the Patterson Fire Department. And additionally, well, you want me to do this in a separate approval, the other money to be used?
It's up to you. Any way you want to make the motion.
All right, so I'll say so moved on the financing, purchase, and approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then additionally, I'd like to make a motion to approve the $161,571.28 from the Patterson Fire Department Vehicle Replacement Fund to be used for equipment for the Sutton Custom SPH 100-foot area ladder truck, travel, food, and lodging costs for the committee, installation of any equipment not installed by the manufacturer, and any change orders or price increases. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
All right, well, thank you for coming in tonight and, explaining all this to us. So we
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Thank you. We appreciate the continued support by the town board.
Thank
And we appreciate what you guys did.
I think I'm done.
Yeah. You want moving on?
Yes, I was just waiting for him to come through. Go ahead, Peter, you're up.
Okay. So, speaking about spending more money, this building is in need of a new HVAC system, and so that would require us to have a mechanical engineer design the system. At this point, I'd like to approve the town supervisor to enlist Fellingser Engineering LLP to do the engineering for that project at the rate of $27,750. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So everybody knows, we've looked at a number of different ways to skin this cat as far as trying to get a new HVAC system in here. This system has been a problem from day one. We have constant repair bills trying to keep it up and running, and at this point, even though it feels nice and cool in here tonight, the HVAC system for the second floor is not working. This is an independent air conditioner that we have in here. So, as a result, we've got air conditioners in every room now, except for the computer room, which is in dire need of getting some, cooler air in there. And Fellenzer is a company that has designed a number of different systems. They've designed the EMS building we're currently in construction with. They've designed the courthouse. They've worked on the rec center. So we've got some familiarity with their quality of work, and our expectations are high that they're going to be able to solve our problems. But at the end of the day, this is probably going to run the town between $200,000 and $300,000 to do the work. We have secured a grant for $100,000 to do it, though.
Awesome.
And we are working on more. So
That's great.
sorry.
That's all right. The Patterson Veteran Memorial Park Board had a meeting last Tuesday where they discussed the paving of the parking lot. As you know, as you may know, it's item 4 now, and it's always an issue, and they've been trying to get it paved for a long time. So they'd like to make a recommendation to this board that we enlist Kecht Construction to pave the parking lot in the amount of $33,950. And then they would also like them to do, that will piggyback off the highways department. They do the work for the highway department. They won the bid this year for their work. Sorry. When they got the original price from Kecht, it was $81,600, so it's quite a big savings. So I'd like to ask the board to approve the amount of $33,950 to repave the Veteran Memorial Park parking lot. So moved.
Discussion.
Yes.
All I wanted to add was that the amount for the other one's on the next page. You have it.
It's right here.
It was a little.
Okay, I knew that was
Just
going to
wanted
come up.
to-
I can do that
that's
as a
all.
secondary
Yep.
thing. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Additionally, Kecht provided a price to repave the basketball courts with the 2.5-inch top coat, and that is the amount of $13,610. I asked the board that we take their recommendation and approve the amount of $13,610 to repave the basketball court. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Could I actually ask a question about that?
Yes.
So a lot of times, when they have a lot of events going on at the same time, the parking, actually you have to park on the other side of that. So they're actually paving the side in front of the house, right?
Correct.
That's
Correct.
the 32,000.
Correct.
Is there anything that can be done with the other side of that? Because, when you go in and
On the
out of
other
it-
side of the road?
On the other side of the
on the
basketball
other side of
court.
the
The basketball court.
Yeah, when you go in there to park, it's a
The additional
huge
parking
dip, going in with your vehicle, and then it makes it a little rough coming out with the traffic coming at you to pull up.
Is the dip for drainage? I don't know.
No, it's kind of
No,
like a
we can take a look
cave.
at it.
Maybe
Yeah,
the highway department.
Listen, I drive a truck, I don't know the dip.
yeah.
So, I'm gonna take a look at it.
I don't
Yeah,
park
well,
in
it's
that
just,
lot,
it gets
so.
a little, and then,
Dicey.
in the fall and, and then when it's raining a lot and they'll still have like a lot of events in the rain and stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe someone could just look at that, maybe they can help us out over there, especially since they're
Maybe
already
that can,
on its bid price.
Look into as a capital
Yeah.
improvement for
Yeah,
the next, the following year's budget.
Yeah.
Maybe highway could,
Maybe if we can
Clean
get
it
some
up a little
fill, we
bit.
just create a, pad that is soft for
yeah, yeah,
drive in.
yeah,
yeah. Okay, thank you.
great.
All right, Joe, you're up.
Thank you. I have a couple of resolutions for the release of bonds. So I have a release of escrow fund for the White Birch Realty LLC site plan. So White Birch Realty owns a parcel at 35-37 Commerce Drive. That's tax map number 23-2-10. So they made an application for site approval. They established a post-construction escrow account. The work on the site has been completed, and the balance of the account is $46,000, which may now be released. So if there are no objections, I would make a motion. I would ask, no, I'm going to skip all that. I'm going to move this resolution forward. I'm going to move this resolution forward and ask that it be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, I got another one. So for the same piece of property, a release of a performance bond, which is different from that escrow, for the White Birch Realty. Again, it's White Birch Realty, 35-37 Commerce, tax map 23-2-10. So the town of Patterson had approved a plan application to construct various improvements. The town established a bond of $18,900. Work on the site has been completed, so we'd like to release that performance bond of $18,900. So if there are no objections, I move this resolution forward and ask that it be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. I also have a release of an escrow fund for the Stone Hill Development site plan. So Stone Hill Development owns a parcel at 125 Commerce Drive, tax map number 34-3-52. They made an application for site approval. It required the establishment of a professional plan review escrow. The balance of that is $2,751.40 for the account for professional plan review. And I also have, I think this is two different numbers, so let me make sure I get it right. And there is a balance of, okay, I got it right. First one was professional plan review. This one is a balance of $20,661.40 for post-construction plan review. So the work on the site has been completed. We'd like to release the bond for these two amounts. So if there are no objections, I move this resolution forward and ask that it be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, and now I have the release of a performance bond for Stone Hill Development, same piece of property, Stone Hill Development, 125 Commerce, tax map 34-3-52. The planning board had approved the site plan application. We established a bond of $30,141. The work on the site has been completed, so we would like to release that bond. So if there are no objections, I ask that I move this resolution forward and ask that it be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sean, that's me.
Got it? Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Next item we have relates to the hiring of an EMT for our Emergency Services Department. Mr. Kearns, our EMS Administrator, is recommending the hiring of Trevor Spinelli at a rate of $19.75 to be a new EMT with the town. I will make a motion to approve this resolution and ask that it be entered into the record as though read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And unfortunately, we have a few resignations. The first two in the EMS department. The first one is for James Krishke. James would like to tender his resignation effective August 29th, 2025, and it is to pursue some interest in some additional EMS and EMT roles and attend some schools. So I'd like to make a motion to approve that resignation. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the next is for Emily Kirkland, who is also an EMT and has some other obligations, but would like very much the opportunity to return to the town of Patterson. Her schedule is just a little too busy. She's trying to work 2 jobs. So I want to accept Emily Curlin's resignation effective immediately. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And last, we have a resignation from our Veterans Park Board, coming from our chair, Barbara Ferreira, that Juan Cambazaka is needing to resign from his board position for personal reasons. I'd like to thank him for his service and approve the resignation effective today. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Other business. Anybody have any other business?
I
That
do.
is other business.
Okay. Go ahead.
Let's do the easy one
Yeah.
first.
This one's easy. This is easy.
Okay. I thought mine was.
Yours is easy, but
Yours isn't so easy.
need a little more conversation.
Sure.
All right, so our assessors use a software called RPS 4. RPS 4 is being phased out by the state. They are now going to RPS Online. They're having a training session on it, which they just announced, and our assessor would like to go. There's no cost for the training, but there is mileage involved, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the request from Donna DePippo, our assessor, to go to the training, the Millbrook Farm Center, for an estimated mileage of 58 miles for $40.60. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. You're up.
I'm up. Oh, you brought that for me?
I brought everything, but
Thank you.
I brought the
Okay, I was
question.
actually just going back to my email.
You want to give one to Jamie? She may be involved in this as well.
So, I actually wasn't here for the last meeting, and I'm sorry for that. I had a planned vacation, but I sent the supervisor an email on behalf of the Brewster Central School District making a request to utilize the Patterson Rec Center as a reunification site in the event that we had an emergency for the JFK Elementary School. I know that there was a lot of questions, and I'm really sorry that I wasn't here to answer them. I would have been able to, or maybe give a little better insight to what we're asking for. So just to briefly go over what this entails is that every school district, mandated by the state education department, every school district has to identify a reunification site for in the event of an emergency, for where you can bring the children in if you had to evacuate them out of the school and put them somewhere safely. The school we're looking to find a site for has about 600 children and 40 teachers. We would need to move them quickly for an event, so maybe a fire. You know, I mentioned to Rich a gas leak, but you know, I know we don't really have gas. We do have generators that are powered by propane. It wouldn't typically be a situation where we would have a lockdown because we would be staying in the school. This would be something that we would have to move them out of the building very swiftly, but get them to a location where there are amenities such as bathrooms, you know, kitchen, or get them regrouped safely. It's a lot of children, so that if we did in the event have to have the parent come and pick them up. So that raises a lot of questions and a lot of what ifs, to say, well, then we don't want 600 parents flooding to the Patterson Rec Center to, you know, pick up their child. So that wouldn't happen. We work cooperatively with the Sheriff's Department, so in the event that an evacuation is taking place, it is completely controlled by the Sheriff's Department. They would come here, they block off the area, the supervisor would be notified immediately that we were planning on using it. Just to let you know, to go, you know, a little off, that we do have a site, we do have sites for each school individually, but we recently lost one of them, the JFK school, because of the site that we had was sold, and we haven't had, you know, a chance to go to the owner and, you know, go through the whole process. One of the sheriff's deputies, AJ, mentioned that he felt as though the rec center was a perfect site for us. So with that being said, the sheriffs would come, barricade off the area, parents, minimal communication to the parent, but yet keeping them informed. So, for example, we're evacuating the building, and we're gonna give you that right now for about 15 minutes. And then we're gonna tell you what's gonna happen next. And then if we get to the point where we need them to come and pick them up, it would be organized and monitored and handled completely and solely by the sheriff's department. You know, we would be taking care of the children, but the sheriffs take care of the perimeter of the building where we're keeping them safe and secure. So, does anyone have any questions or?
You said that one of the scenarios, the best case scenario, is that the buses would return and pick up the
So
students.
if, in the event that maybe it was a threat, okay, and they had to get out, yes, we would get them here, the sheriffs would monitor that, keep them safe. Nobody would even get, you know, within the perimeter of the building to come and try to get their kids safe. Because, you know, listen, I'm a grandparent, you know, it's like we've had lockdowns and parents do. They come to the school and, you know, I've had my own children call me and say, Carmel's locked down, should I go get them? You can't. You're not going to get anywhere near that school. And the sheriff's department will make sure of that. And also the state police are involved. You know, there's a lot of police officers in the area that will keep them out. But so say there was a threat, we had to get them out. The best scenario, yes, would be that we sent the buses back to pick them up and bring them back to school. Or if they couldn't go back to the school, we would send the buses back to pick them up by their scheduled routes, just like they were picking them up at the school. So they would get, you know, if we're evacuating, we're just going to get them on a bus and get them out of the area. Now we know everything's safe and we want to get them home. It would be a little more organized. Well, okay, Route 1 is coming to pick up Route 1 students, but it's a large enough area to regroup the children where they need to go to get onto their bus to get them home. So yes, best scenario would be the buses bringing them home, not parents coming to pick them up.
Let's assume the buses are not bringing them home. How many buses are we talking about coming up?
That they are or not? You
They're
just
not.
don't know.
Let's just assume for the moment that
How many buses?
the scenario is that there's an event that precludes them from going back to the school,
And
regardless.
and they
But
go home.
how many buses is it going to take to transport the 600 kids, 40 teachers, and 120 additional staffs?
120
I think that
additional?
includes it said
Okay,
120
so,
staff, I think that includes the
at
40.
average scheduled dismissal of this particular school is about 24 buses.
All right.
It varies in sizes.
So we can figure
If we had to
probably-
add on to that, 77 passenger holds 52 adults, 2 in a seat.
Okay. So are the buses coming up here, dropping off and going back to the Brewster yard, or are they
Yes.
staying here?
No, so when we do that, the sheriffs don't like the buses to stay, so we would drop and go and we'd be, you know, pushed out
Somewhere else.
immediately. Yeah, maybe
Okay.
stage at a different location. We're not far. It's probably better off to go to the transportation yard. So, and they're kept communication. We hold the drivers in place.
So is there any thought about holding them here and working with Carmel schools?
So all of that would depend on, if I was asked that question, I would say it would depend on the time of day because we certainly wouldn't want to interrupt their dismissal. So, you know, if it was later in the day and they had their buses coming in, but other than that Matthew Patterson can hold easily 25 vehicles there. Yes. You know, would be something we could do.
Yes.
You know, we would definitely communicate with them on that. You know, we could even, you know, I'm trying to think where else we can go. Can't go to the fire department. We could try it out.
My concern in all this is not, you know, participating. I'd love to participate.
I
I think
understand that.
the rec center is great, but the devil is in the details.
Yes.
We're bringing 600 kids, you know, children
Mhm.
up here, and we have a potential of, you know, having them be at the rec center for up to 6 hours. Well, if they're
Mhm.
going to be there at 6 hours, they're probably going to need snacks. They're probably going to need water. They're probably going to need
Yes.
activities.
Mhm.
You know, we're not just going to, you know, take them, put them in the gym, sit them
Let
on
'em
the floor
sit
for
there.
6 hours.
Yeah, so-
and what are we doing about all that?
So they actually, so we have emergency preparedness plans in place, so I'm sure the teachers, I mean, I could probably get you that information if you wanted to get that detailed. But
Well, I
that,
think we
you know, if they're
need it.
coming
I've
with
asked
that
for it
stuff.
twice, I haven't gotten it
Yeah.
twice.
Yes, I know. I think Victor, he's the Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations who's working on this. We are all part of this committee, you know, Safety, Health, and Emergency Preparedness Committee, and we do have trainings and sit down and go over with the sheriffs, the state police, and have meetings and go over all of these different scenarios. And thank God we've never had to act on one of them. But just to go over a couple of bullets here in the memorandum of understanding that Mr. Carlson drafted, bullet 6 is to indemnify, hold harmless, and defend the town of Patterson, its officers, employees, and agents from and against all liability, damage claims, demands, costs, judgments, fees, attorney's fees, or loss arising directly or indirectly out of the performance of this MOU, except to the extent that such liability is solely caused by the negligence of the town of Patterson.
And that's fine, we're all in agreement with that one. We get a little stuck on the one that says indemnify, hold harmless, and defend Brewster Central School District, its officers, employees, against any claims, demands, cost, judgment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We get,
against all
so
liability,
we're offering our
damage claims,
facility
demands,
and
costs,
then,
all the things.
we've got to hold Brewster Schools harmless.
Yeah, it has a cross indemnification essentially, and it seems like that might not be necessary.
Yeah,
Okay,
so that's got to come out. What was the other one that had
all
to
right.
come
So
out?
is there any way
There
that,
was only two, right?
There were two things.
Oh, wait.
so my question is there any way that we could approve this pending the removal of that bullet?
Listen, I understand there's a time concern on this that I was not aware of till tonight.
Yeah, well, no.
This is what happens when you miss a meeting.
I think the only other one, Rich, was concerned about how the notice would occur, if it was going to be cell phones.
That's what
just-
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. We wanted that, so it says initiate the evacuation process by notifying the authorized representative of the town of Patterson listed below as soon as possible. It can't be just they're gonna send an email or they're gonna pick up the phone and leave a message. They've gotta actually
Yeah.
talk to somebody, otherwise we may not know for, an extended period of
See a
time. The
bus is
facility
showing up.
may not be available when you get here. So there's gotta be actual physical contact somehow.
All right, so do you want to send the language
Mhm.
to the supervisor and he could share it with me, or?
Yeah, I mean, I
With
think it
Victor?
would just be removing that paragraph, Roman numeral 2, subsection 2, and then on the initiate the evacuation process by actual notice to the authorized representative of the town of Patterson listed below as soon as practical. And then on the notice provision on the next page, we'll indicate cell phone numbers for the two parties.
Yes, I believe he asked for them, I believe. So, okay. So I think the question was if it's you and someone else.
Matt.
Matt, okay,
And I think Matt even gave his cell phone in the email.
Yeah.
okay.
I initially didn't want to give up his cell phone number, but he
Yeah.
voluntarily did.
Yes.
So good for Matt.
You know,
Um,
and like I said, that we have sites for every school. We've, thank God, never had to do this, or go anywhere. But, like I said, the state requires us to have to identify, because if something happened, and I know that if something happened and we didn't have this, and I called the supervisor and said, hey, we got an emergency here, can we come there? And he'd be open arms for us. So we just want to have it, memorialized in paper, and obviously take care of any issues that you're worried about.
So I have a question that really doesn't affect much, but once you establish contact with the new owner of the facility that you already had in place for however long you've had it, will you try to get that facility back on board, and then, or would we continue to be the?
No, I think that they I can't say this firmly, but I don't believe they're interested
Right,
in
okay.
allowing that. But
Understood.
two, also, this site was a recommendation from the, I don't want to say committee, but the officers that are involved and assigned to our
Okay.
district to handle these emergencies recommended that we reach out. So we're just,
Fair enough,
they felt as though that this was a better choice.
right.
So how often do you meet to review these plans?
Let me think now. So we have monthly meetings. We have annual tabletops to go over scenarios with the actual officers involved in the, we'll act out a scenario. But at the monthly meetings, any issues with this are discussed. So
Okay.
I believe there might be one the second week of school, so if you'd like to come, and
No,
I'm
I
not
would
trying to
like-
give you more work.
Huh?
But I'm not trying to give you more work, but the BOCES, the administrator from BOCES should be there. He runs the meeting along with the director of facilities, as well as we typically have the resource officers there that can explain a lot about how they,
And that's
So when
Worcester
you're-
Schools
yes,
specific.
specifically.
So when you're doing the tabletop, it's specific to one school or it's all the schools?
So we never know when we go in what they're going to give us, but we've actually had exercises that include each building. Some of the exercises include every building being impacted, because typically, the middle school is actually attached to the intermediate school. So if there's something going on in the middle school, it affects the intermediate school. JFK school is right across
Thank you.
the road from the high school. So if you have a bomb threat in the high school, we're certainly concerned about the elementary school across the street.
So, no, I don't necessarily want to come to a tabletop that involves other schools, but no, okay,
No, I
listen,
mean
I'm
a
s-
meeting. I mean just a meeting.
No, but I'm serious about this one. I think
Yeah.
that we need to have a tabletop specific to this location.
Oh, yes, sure. So, yeah, I could suggest that so what happens is when we go into those tabletops, we don't know what the scenario is, but I can speak to Frank. You probably know
So
Frank
you can do one,
Guglieri.
sure. You can do one separate.
Well, no, I can tell him, don't tell anyone, but let's
Yeah.
focus on that. And he can make it about that, so yes.
So I understand that when you do a tabletop, you need to rotate the buildings. That's a good practice.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't want to see you change that, but I do think it's necessary for us to understand the logistics about how this is all going to work.
Mhm.
Buses coming in, where they're going to go.
Right.
What are we going to do for staging? Do
Mhm.
we have enough parking?
What if the power goes out? What if, there's a lot of things that are brought up.
Well,
to those, and-
I'd love Victor's answer, or somewhere in the documents that were provided, that, you're gonna bring a school nurse up,
Mhm.
if one's available,
Mhm.
You're talking about moving 600 kids and 120 teachers that are just gone through a very traumatic incident.
Mhm.
You're gonna need more than a school nurse. Mike, you wanna say something? So that's why I had suggested to them, are we gonna need to put our ambulance on, a second ambulance?
That's what I was. So, hi guys, sorry for being late. So that's where I was going to go with that, Rich. If I heard correctly, you're in the process of updating an EAP or emergency action plan. You're creating one, or you're updating it.
No, we're just looking to get a location for a reunification site.
Yeah. So I mean, along with what you were saying, Rich, I think as well as the, EMS administrator, us, Putnam Lake, we should probably notify if this is enacted.
Mhm.
We're bringing additional, like you just said, 600 kids and 120 staff members. Yeah. I would maybe jot us down on the list to be notified.
Well, listen, you raise a very good point. When they're having these tabletop exercises, are the fire departments there?
The state police and the sheriff's department.
But not the fire departments.
No.
I mean,
but-
not like, we don't have to maybe directly be involved, but just to
Mm-hmm.
be aware that if this isn't active, that, we're bringing in,
Mhm.
what, an additional 700 bodies, you know what I mean, into our town here, that God forbid if something were to happen,
Mhm.
that's on a regular day basis, so
Yeah, I can make that recommendation to
just food
them.
for thought.
Yeah, I'll, I talk to him a lot, the one who runs the,
Yeah, like I said, we don't have to be directly involved, just a note.
yeah.
As
So
a
now,
step.
if something like that did happen, would, the sheriff's department let you guys know, or?
I don't know how that would work. I mean, they could put it out over county dispatch, just as
Yeah.
notification, and then in
Yeah.
that case, our pagers' phones will go off, just as an FYI, or sometimes they'll put it out to where, like, they put out for a chief officer landline, the
Mhm.
dispatch center.
Yeah,
And it could just be
yeah.
a simple phone call conversation, and then I could pass it along to members.
Mhm.
I mean, it'd be kind of a little bit of a, I don't want to say hard thing to do, because now you're hitting 3 departments, right? Technically, the town of Patterson, us here at Patterson, and then Putt Lake, but I mean, I think it still definitely should be done, just as a heads up.
Mhm.
God forbid, like there's a storm, we got to transfer them over here. Next year, we get a storm rolling through, power goes out over there.
Right.
I mean, we've been over there for calls before, so we're not just walking into a possibly empty rec center or
Mhm.
with an event going on, maybe 30 people. It's now we're walking into 600 kids and 120 staff.
Right.
So that definitely plays a different role.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, what you were about to say, with maybe possibly putting a second bus on if possible, just on standby.
Mhm.
God forbid, I'm sure kids are going to be coming, they probably have some medical needs. Some I'm sure have probably disabilities, so
Mhm.
just to be heads up on it.
Yeah.
It's all
No.
just a couple lines in it, just a notification.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeff.
you.
Anybody else? Questions?
Great points.
Mhm. Yeah. So I don't know if they actually even do that, for the other sites, if that's even something that's identified, but we can add that in, that the, emergency services should be advised as well,
All right, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Brewster Central School District and the town of Patterson for the purpose of evacuation and reunification planning with the following conditions. One, that in notifying the authorized representatives of town, that physical contact be made, not just, an email sent out. That Section 2, Paragraph 2, regarding the indemnification by the town of Patterson of the Brewster Central Schools be either modified to the town attorney's approval or removed in its entirety, and that a tabletop exercise be scheduled periodically with the town of Patterson specific to this facility.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'm
Anything
gonna
else?
recuse myself. Shall
You started all this. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I? Recused.
One recusal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for all the information.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for having
appreciate
that
it.
information.
Yes.
We want,
Okay, anybody else have any other business at this time? Then we will open it up to public recognition. Does any member of the audience joining us tonight wish to make any comments, have any statements? Please approach the mic, state your name, make your comments.
Good evening, Bruce Major, 166 Somerset Drive, Patterson. I just have a couple of things. Several months ago, I asked about the railroad crossing down by the rec center. Has there been any movement by Metro North?
There has been no movement by New York State DOT to reissue the permit.
Okay.
And, when I've made a couple of inquiries, I'm just getting silence. I don't know why. So now that the legislative session is over and everybody's calmed down, I intend to reach out to both Matt and Peter and list their aid.
Okay. In today's Courier, they talk about an agreement between all the towns in reference to shared services.
Correct.
What savings, dollar-wise, will that bring to the town of Patterson?
I don't have a specific answer for you, but it is something that the highway superintendents and county DPW have been doing for many years on a handshake. They decided to memorialize it. So we've been working on this now probably for 5 months anyway. So in the past, we've made quite a bit of use of county highway equipment. We've loaned our equipment out to other municipalities. Kent, Southeast has loaned us. So there's some real financial benefit, but putting a dollar value on it, that I can't do.
So the reality is, in essence, you're putting down on paper what we've been doing all along. So it sounds like a photo op to me.
I think it was a good practice to have it in writing, so.
No, I agree,
So
but I'm
parties
just
know
saying-
what their responsibilities and limitations are.
Yes, exactly. The
I
other-
wasn't there for the photo op, by the way.
No, you weren't, nor were you mentioned in the paper.
No, that's fine.
But they tend to leave you out, you know, for whatever reason. The other thing is, 3 meetings ago, I raised the issue about the ethics board, and you said that 30 days you would have an answer.
We have not gotten a resignation from the one individual who has failed to agree to do their training. The other person has done their training, so we've got 2 solid individuals. So we need to press on and either make a decision about removing that one individual so we can appoint somebody new, or not.
Well, when you figure the allegations date back over 2 years,
Mhm.
that it is, I believe, long overdue. And for you to be saying, well, we're waiting to see if someone's going to resign, you can just replace them. Find somebody else and put them on the ethics board.
We have to remove so we did make the appointment. The appointment is there. We would have to take an action to actually remove that individual. We couldn't just replace them.
Tonight's a perfect night. It's been 45 days at least. You said 30 days. I'll leave that up to you. The other thing, I have done some research and I found out that the previous town board were all provided a copy of the HR report.
They were.
And yet you said you wouldn't share it with the 2 current board members.
No, I said I haven't shared it with 2.
Have you shared it as of yet?
No, I have not. If they would like a copy, I'd be happy to give them a copy.
Great. I look forward to them letting me know that they've received it. Thank you.
So I'd like to make a motion at this time to remove the individual on the ethics board who has not completed his training. And I'd like to make a second motion to appoint Bruce Major to the ethics board. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're on. I'm sure our aide to the town board will be providing you the training you need to complete tomorrow morning.
Thank you. But I do want to remind you that I have already read most of the public documents that are available through FOIA, and that I sort of have an advantage over the other 2. And I would hope that you would explain to them that I am going to do my best not to influence them with observations that I've made already.
We would be happy to convey that with them. I think that was an acceptance. Anyone else?
Hi, Stacy Dumont, Bullet Hole Road. I have a bus question, and I had attended the Kevin Byrne event at the library. Do you know if the bus has been successful with the app and the phone calls? Have you gotten any feedback from residents about being able to call for a bus?
So I have not, but maybe somebody else has.
My son Tommy uses it all the time, and it's fantastic.
Okay, and do you know, like, does it take you outside of Patterson, or is it
Yes,
only
we have
within
to call.
Patterson?
Yeah,
Okay.
that I can tell you. It will take you where you need to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes
it's
what
been
has happened
helpful.
To the airport?
is when they go on their app, they get the wrong place, and he has to let them know exactly, but he's used it quite often, and it's been fantastic.
Nice.
Good,
Thanks, Mike.
nice. And I think that I went on to look, and there's a link on the transportation page. I was going to call you and tell you, but it's defunct. Like, it doesn't go to the Putnam County page. So just check it out. You may not
Is
have
it
the right. They may have
link
given you
on
a
what
link.
page?
It's on. It's down at the bottom where it's the transit link.
At the
transit
bottom of
page.
which
On the
website?
town's
The
page?
town. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just the link is maybe broken.
All right.
Just if you
Wasn't
want.
it?
All right,
Yeah.
we'll fix that.
And just a question, just because Bruce brought up the ethics board, is there ever talk about reinstating the environmental conservation committee? I think it's been a long time, but is there any talk about revitalizing that?
Not in the time that I've been here.
It's been that long.
Well, it was that long and then some, before I got here.
Okay.
I mean, I think the Environmental Commission was probably disbanded in the 90s.
Yeah.
Is it still it's still there? It's like there was an adopted version of it. I think it's either 2005 or 2012. So it sounded like it was fairly recent.
You talking about in the town code?
Yes.
Okay, so it's got a 2005 date on it because we did a full recodification of the town code in 2005.
Okay. And that,
But
yes,
that,
I guess that's 20 years.
yeah,
Yeah,
but that,
right.
but there hasn't been an actual conservation commission probably since the mid
Since
90s.
then. Okay.
Tony was the last one that I know that was chair, and
Gotcha.
she started spending all sorts of town funding without any sort of approval. So the supervisor and town board at that time just disbanded the CAC.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else?
Can I just add, is that similar to the architectural review board, that the planning board is kind of the de facto, that they're the de facto architectural review board? Are they also in some ways the de facto conservation?
Well, in some ways
board
they are.
Because of the issues that they deal with on almost every project.
So
I mean, I know there's a difference, but.
So the Environmental Conservation Board certainly, reviewed plans, they made recommendations to the planning board. Planning board could consider whether, to take them or leave them. But they did other things as well. They tried to, raise environmental awareness within the town.
Yeah.
They were instrumental in getting the wetlands ordinance in back in 1988. They were leaders in the dump fight. Stacy, you want to add to that?
No, it was a little before my time, but yeah, I know of it, but I don't know when it was active, right? I did have another question I wanted to ask. Is the comprehensive plan coming due?
Oh, boy.
Listen,
Turn around.
I'm gonna make a motion here to put you on the review committee.
I
So-
will accept that appointment.
Let me just say something. An anniversary is coming up. December 13th, our 10-year master plan will be 25 years old.
and doing just fine. So, yeah, I mean, typically you're supposed to review the comprehensive plan. One of the issues that we wrestle with all the time is the current master plan I did when I was here as town planner. We don't have somebody here that can, do something like that right now. Oakley and time he will be able to do that. So for the town to actually go hire a consultant to do it, because I don't have the time now. You know, we're looking at somewhere in a budget of $80,000 to $120,000, and trying to come up with that, you know, with all the other competing costs that the town has to face. And I can tell you this year's going to be a really bad year. It's difficult to find that kind of money. Certainly there are grants out there that would look at some components of the master plan, but not do an overall comprehensive job on redoing the whole master plan.
Do you feel like we need one and it's just a matter of
Well,
a lot of money?
the planning board did take a look at it. I mean, this has been an ongoing discussion over the years, and you know, they started to make modifications. There are certainly some things that need to be changed. Certainly the front end needs to be updated. Some of the traffic data is very, very old and needs to be updated. But overall, the planning board did take a look at it, you know, several years ago, 5 years ago maybe, and, you know, found that it really, you know, was still valid. Most of it was still valid and doing what we wanted to do. We want to keep a rural community. We want to maintain our open space. We want to protect the environment, and the comprehensive plan, you know, does all that. So, and we're not looking at upzoning any further or downzoning, so the zoning is, I think everybody's happy for the most part with the zoning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I say, one of the zoning and planning, I think was what you were alluding to, planning board and zoning board, whenever they have a case, there's a state environmental quality review, so they also see where it falls within, if it meets any, you know, meets the guidelines, or if it potentially goes against anything. That's automatic in the,
Yes.
when something.
Everything has to go through an environmental
So even though there's no
analysis.
particular board, but at least those boards are de facto or acting as.
Yeah.
Anyone else? All right, we can turn our attention to those joining us by Zoom. If anybody joining us by Zoom has any comments or questions, if you would unmute, state your name and address for the record. It's dinner time.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming.